This program contains strong sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
In 45 years, this is a first for me.
A story
Something happened. I know something happened.
that defies belief.
I believe that Dan sexually molested our daughter.
Did you or did you not molest your daughter?
100% did not.
I was only going on what my daughter was telling me.
Is it possible you weren't hearing that clearly?
This family drama
What better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
is far from over.
I have no reason to lie.
I don't buy it, lady.
And
I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying about what.
both parents
Did you ever have sexual contact with Alexis?
take a polygraph.
Let's look at the results. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Yesterday, we met Gina and her husband, Mike, who claimed their daughter, Alexis, was kidnapped in the middle of the night by her survivalist boyfriend, David. But David says Gina is the reason Alexis left home. Take a look at what happened yesterday.
I believe that David kidnapped Alexis. David is a survivalist. I've seen pictures of David with machine guns, machetes.
My mom claims that David's the controlling one, but really she's the controlling one. I'm old enough to make my own decisions.
Is she just making a huge mistake here?
Absolutely. He's dangerous, Alexis.
Are you like a rope in a tug-of-war here?
Yeah, I feel like it.
This is our relationship, not theirs.
Did you kidnap her?
No, not at all. But she's the one that asked me to come get her.
You said he kidnapped her.
Physically, she chose to go.
Then that's not kidnapping. I'm trying to find out whether you are an overreactive, histrionic mother, or if your daughter was kidnapped and we have the sumbitch here and need to throw the cuffs on him. Because I don't want him to, like, grab a few audience members on the way out. I'm trying to figure out if he's a culprit.
I own 4 guns. Mike directly threatened me once on the phone. He was going to find me and, quote-unquote, destroy me.
You say you were going to kill him?
I was going to beat the that's what I said. I am not putting up with this lying. I am sick of it. I don't get intimidated very easily. You are not real smart, are you? I don't fear anybody.
What is your objective right now?
Honestly, Dr. Phil, if I didn't think I'd go to jail for it, I would go across this 3 feet of floor right here and I'd take his damn head off.
Why?
Because I can't stand him.
Where do I go from here? I want a relationship with my daughter.
You couldn't push her to him anymore if you had a stick and was chasing her down the street. When I introduced the guest earlier, I warned you that this story had a few twists and turns. David said Gina has tried to convince everyone that he brainwashed her daughter. But David is convinced it's the other way around. He says Gina is the one who has done the brainwashing. He believed it all started long ago when Alexis was just a baby.
When Alexis was 2.5, out of the blue, Alexis told me that her dad gave her always in her shoo-shoo, and that is what she called her private parts at that time. I did confront Dan about this, and he was extremely upset with me and told me that the next time I accuse him of hurting our daughter, that I better be with the police or he was going to strangle me. I believe that Dan sexually molested our daughter. I watched Alexis's behaviors totally just change. She started becoming withdrawn. She'd have nightmares. She was wetting the bed. She would say that Daddy touched her with a scissors, or she would say that Daddy touched her with a knife.
My mom never caught him. She just heard it from me. I know something happened, but I don't remember anything. My biological father denies everything that has happened.
When we went to the police, there was no physical evidence. So they said that it was his word against hers. Dan wasn't charged of molestation. Dan went 7 years without seeing the children. I wanted nothing more but for Dan to be a part of their life. But I could not trust Dan because of what he had done to Alexis.
Now, Dan claims Gina unleashed a campaign to destroy him after he broke up with her years ago. He said he would never, ever hurt his own daughter, and if there is a manipulative brainwasher in this bunch, it's Gina. Take a look.
I was involved in Alexis's life for a little over 2 years until Gina started making accusations that I was abusing Alexis. It's my belief that Gina got pregnant with our children on purpose, without my consent, just to keep our relationship together. I decided to leave. She wasn't letting me see my kids, so I took her to court. That's when she said, oh, by the way, he's molesting his daughter. To hear those words come out of her mouth and everyone's looking at you, it makes you want to crawl underneath a rock and just die. She decided she would use the kids as pawns to hurt me. The accusations completely destroyed my relationship with my daughter. I've always told Gina that you have to love the children more than you dislike me. I have never sexually molested my daughter. I've waited for the last 15 years to clear my name, a chance to let my daughter know that I'm not the monster her mother has portrayed me to be, and a chance to start healing our relationship and be in her life.
I have a rule, and that is, one thing I just generally don't do is put an abuser and a victim together. That's just something you generally don't do. And I know you have some relationship with Dan, correct? So I'm going to ask you, are you comfortable with me bringing him out here?
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you didn't already have some relationship with him, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't even ask you that. But you're okay with that, correct?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. If you all would move down one, I appreciate it. And I'm going to ask Dan to come on out. Dan, Dr. Phil.
Hi.
Good to meet you, sir. Have a seat right here. Dan, thank you for coming. This kind of got all brought up a little bit at the behest of David, because you, as you got to know Alexis, started to kind of say, now what happened? And you started to question some of this, right?
Yes, I did.
And then you really hated that, right?
Alexis told me, she said, Mom, Dan and his mother are making chaos in this house. We're fighting and everything. They're talking such crap about you. And all I do is have to stick up for you. He goes, it's causing chaos because they keep lying about you.
What did Alexis tell you they were saying about you?
Oh, that I was the bad guy, that I lied about the molestation, that I was keeping the kids from him. His mom wanted to be involved in the kids' lives, and I wouldn't let her. None of it's true.
Mm-hmm. So, Dan, let me ask you something, just straight up. Did you or did you not molest your daughter?
100% did not.
Were you sexually inappropriate with her in any way?
Never.
Did you touch her in any suggestive, provocative, or sexual fashion?
No.
Then how did you wind up getting to be such a focus of all of this at the time where she insists that you did, and your daughter has been brought up over the last 16 years believing that you are a monster that has preyed upon her and violated her at such a young and tender age?
Her mother didn't bother bringing it up until after I took her to court.
That's not true, Dan. You told the officer that you were going to go for joint custody after you were questioned about this. I gave them all the paperwork.
Okay.
You did?
Yes.
We have all the paperwork.
Yes.
We have all the paperwork you gave us and a whole lot more that you didn't give us. In 45 years, this is a first for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it.
I don't buy it, lady. And later,
I have no reason to lie.
What better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
You actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
Let's look at the results.
I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying.
If you would like to take the polygraph.
Let's go.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil.
The couple accused in a horrific child abuse case.
They survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator. Blood splattered on a wall.
Now, for the first time,
I can't stand straight. I'm like dizzy right now.
You just hang on to me.
the children speak out.
What they fed us, it wasn't decent to eat.
If the food was moldy or rotten,
I'd be forced to eat it.
We were stealing food. We cut a hole in the wall to pass food through to each other.
your hair started falling out. You were not supposed to sleep.
If we got caught sleeping, we'd get punished.
There was dried blood on that board. Was that your blood?
That's tomorrow.
We have a timeline, actually, of how this went down according to court records, police reports, and that sort of thing. And I want to take a look at that, and I want to step back and do that. And by the way, as we do this, I want to make one thing really clear. Whatever turns out to be the case or not the case, one thing we know for absolute sure is you did absolutely nothing wrong. We're real clear on that, okay? You did absolutely nothing wrong at the time. You did absolutely nothing wrong with what you have believed or not believed since then. You've done absolutely nothing wrong in how you've reacted or not reacted. You've done absolutely nothing wrong. Are we clear on that?
Yeah.
100%. Look me in the eye and tell me we're clear on that.
We're clear.
Okay. We're talking about essentially 16 years ago. And the first thing that we want to talk about is in January, Dan starts visitations with Alexis and her brother at this point. Okay, then February, we're talking the first week, Alexis is reported to have said, Daddy, that's referring to you here, gives me owies in my shoo-shoo. And this was how you say she referred to her private parts.
Correct.
At that point. Now here we're talking about the first week of February.
Correct.
Right? Okay. Now, then we go into a period where you leave the children with Dan, Alexis and her brother, from the first week of February for a 4-month period. She reports to you the 1st of February that her father is molesting her, and you continue to deliver her into his hands for 4 months. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe he would do such a thing to his daughter.
And as a mother, believing that this man is molesting your infant daughter, you consciously and knowingly continue to deliver her into his hands for 4 months. I'm sorry. You are the first mother, first, in 45 years that has ever said, my daughter is being molested by a man and I'm going to deliver her into his hands for 4 more months, knowing what he is doing to her. In 45 years, this is a first for me. You're the first.
I didn't want to believe it. And I did ask him about it before when they were having their visits, and he told me nothing was happening. He told me nothing was happening, and I wanted to believe him. I didn't know maybe if he wiped her wrong when she went to the bathroom. I didn't want to believe that he would touch his daughter like that and hurt her. I thought I knew him better.
Nothing happened. You know.
No, Dan, I don't. In my heart, in my gut, I know something happened.
You wanted
exactly
something.
My point. In your gut,
I was wrong,
in your heart, and then you take this 2-year-old child and go put it in this monster predator's lap. I don't buy it, lady. What do you believe?
I know something happened. I can feel it in my gut.
Your mother's put this all in her head.
And later...
Until there's a polygraph test done, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with anything.
You actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
Let's look at the results.
There has been allegations since Alexis was 2.5 that Dan molested her. I don't believe that Dan did molest Alexis. I do know a little bit about psychology, and it doesn't add up. There's just a lot of stories from Alexis and Gina. The stories are a little different from each person. Alexis has told me that she doesn't really know if she remembers it happening.
The police investigation, pediatrician, I mean, I got the whole report right here, but bottom line, they say nothing abnormal. Nothing abnormal. They examine the child. They look at everything. They look at tissue damage. They look at everything you can imagine. They say, let me tell you, a 2-year-old, they say a 2-year-old, nothing abnormal. A 2-year-old. And from what you described, there cannot be nothing.
I don't think he her. I think he fondled her.
You said he did.
I said he fondled her. Touching her is inappropriate. That's molestation. She's always said
you
it was.
You were saying weird stuff about knives and scissors.
That's what she told me.
No.
And it wasn't just me she would tell this to. I have the report of other people she told this to.
In your family?
Okay,
no,
I have the report too. We'll look at that. Then Alexis told the CPS her mother told her why she was there. Because Daddy touches me. CPS says, why are you here? Well, my mommy told me I was here because.
And they also said that I told her that Daddy had always in her head. Her daddy had always in his head that he needed to be fixed. She asked why we were going to get in question. I didn't know what to tell her. I told her that we were going to talk to them about Daddy. What was I supposed to tell her?
How about let them do their own report and stop putting weird things in my daughter's
I wasn't
head?
putting weird things in her head.
A couple of months later, the therapist said, there is just not enough information here to proceed. Nothing abnormal. CPS says her mother told her what to say. Therapist says there's just not enough information to proceed. What do you think about all of this? What do you believe? What do you know? What do you believe?
Being that I can't, I literally don't remember anything, and so it's hard for me, but from what family has told me, there's certain family members that I know they're not gonna lie to me. And so I know that they're telling me the truth, and I know something happened. I know something happened.
And what do you mean you know something happened, and how do you know it?
You have a feeling, like, I can feel it in my gut. I know.
You know what? What is it you know?
Something happened to me.
Uh-huh. You don't know when, you don't know what, and you don't know by who, but you know something. Uh-huh. And you said, and I wrote it down, I believe I was molested because my mother says I was.
And that's the only reason why. is her mother's put this all in her head.
Do you want to set your daughter free? Do you want to set yourself free? I just want you to think about this. Dan says Gina brought Alexis and her brother to see him only a few months ago. And you won't believe what she was up to then. We'll talk about that next.
This is a card that Gina sent me while I was in jail. This card, along with all the other letters that she sent me, she had perfume on, a lot of perfume.
Closed captioning provided by
Nexium 24 Hour is the new #1 selling frequent heartburn brand in America.
I hope you like it spicy.
Get complete protection with the purple pill, a new leader in frequent heartburn. That's Nexium level protection.
Mom's litter secret, baking soda. Now Arm & Hammer Clump and Seal makes litter undetectable.
I didn't smell anything. I had no idea.
No other litter has revolutionary Clump and Seal technology to seal and destroy odor for a 7-day odor-free home, guaranteed.
You say absolutely no way, no how.
Absolutely no way.
But you have lived under this cloud for 16 years.
Yes, I have.
Have you ever wavered?
No, never.
You didn't do this.
Absolutely not.
Why would anyone make this up about someone else? What would be her possible motive for making this up?
She had a fairy tale that she wanted she and I to be in. She wanted to be married when we were first dating and whatnot. And when it didn't happen, when it didn't work out between us, and she saw me with another girl, she got enraged. And what better way to hurt somebody? Take their kids away.
That's not true.
In the last 15 years, have you lived a model citizen life?
No, by no means.
You've not always made good choices?
Unfortunately, I've not.
But has it ever been in this area?
Never.
Has there ever been another allegation of you
Never
doing something like this?
Never.
Dan says Gina uses the kids as an excuse to see him. He says she even sent him love letters doused with her perfume.
This is a card that Gina sent me while I was in jail, one of several. Inside of it, it just talks about, I hope you have a good week, keep your eyes on Jesus, and then it says, love, Gina. This card, along with all the other letters that she sent me, she had perfume on, a lot of perfume. You could smell it from across the room. Gina was sending me all these letters and cards because she wanted to get back together with me. Would you mail somebody a card, especially a love letter, that you believed molested your child?
Okay, can I get in right here real quick? Because I was writing him letters too. He was in jail. My mom and I, he had no one else to come visit him and write him letters. My mom and I both did. We sent him pictures. That's one thing that I will stand with my mom on this.
Thank you.
What do you think about this timeline?
I don't think, until there's a polygraph test done, I don't think I'm going to be comfortable with anything right now.
I understand. And you understand, I was trying to find a truth for you. I want you to know a truth. You want to know, right?
Yeah.
Look at your daughter.
I know.
Do you want her to know the truth?
I want to know the truth. I want to, she was telling me these things. I have no reason to lie.
I'm a pretty good judge of people. And I think you are a well-intentioned and loving mother.
Thank you.
I truly do. There's no other shoe to drop. There's no but. That's not a setup, and then I slap you upside the head. I do. I think you're a well-intentioned and loving mother. And I think we do the best we can with what we have at the time. I do. You know, I think
I was young.
Mentally, emotionally, physically, we do the best we can with what we have at the time. And when we know better, we do better. And I think when we're young and in love and scared, we can distort our own reality in a lot of ways. If you thought, as a mother today, if you thought somebody was molesting your 2-year-old daughter, would you bundle her up and drop her off over there this
Hell
weekend?
no. Hell no. No.
But you're trying to tell me that you believed that at the time and you did that, and I know enough about you to know if you truly believed that at the time, horses couldn't drag you over there. But yet, you say you believe this was happening and you thought, all right, he is essentially raping my daughter. I'll go drop her off over there so he can do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again for 4 months.
He also told me that his grandparents were there supervising the visits.
I don't give a damn if the 3rd Armored Division was there.
And I agree with you 100%, Dr. Phil. I do.
If my wife believes someone was hurting one of my children, she would cut their throat and watch them bleed out before she would drop that child over there. And so would you. And if that's not the case, how are you going to explain to this precious child that you delivered her to the hands of her predator month after month after month? And the answer is, I don't believe you did.
I think I was protecting my children. He lost his visitation rights.
As soon as their psychological evaluation's done, I was given a visitation right away.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil exclusive.
You were being beaten, starved.
They survived a house of horrors.
Locks on the refrigerator. Blood splattered on a wall. Was that your blood?
That's tomorrow.
I've read several accounts of you explaining this. At one time, you reported that he had touched her with his fingers.
Mm-hmm.
At another time, with scissors and a knife. You reported at one point that because of this, that at daycare she had put another little girl on the floor wrapped in a blanket and touched her between the legs.
Right.
When they talked to the worker at daycare, they said, that never happened. I never saw that. I never reported that. I never told her that happened. When they said that you had reported that another person had witnessed her doing a specific act with a little boy involving playing doctor and touching him in a specific way. They went and interviewed that person independently. That person said,
that's not true. It's in the police report.
That person
it's in the police report.
I've got the report. I'm telling you, that person said that never happened.
It's not true.
It is true. I'm reading it right now. When Alexis was asked about what happened, she said, well, he touched my shoe with, just, it's hard for kids to keep stories straight, but it's never hard for victims to keep stories straight. Isn't it just possible that in the chaos of being a single mother in emotional turmoil, that facts became convoluted and merged together, and built into something more than they were?
I was only going on what my daughter was telling me.
Well, is it possible that you weren't hearing that clearly?
No, I don't think so.
Is it possible that they observed that you exaggerated difficulties and blew things out of proportion?
Not exaggerated and blown things out of proportion. I'm an emotional person, yes, but I don't blow things up and exaggerate on things.
Said she was kidnapped.
In my mind, I believe she was mentally kidnapped. Yes, I did.
I'm just telling you what they were observing about you at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's my observation now, and the observation of the people that were investigating this at the time said they found absolutely no evidence, and the people evaluating you at the time said, you know, she tends to blow things out of proportion. She tends to get over-involved in these relationships and exaggerate things and use these children in a way that is not healthy.
I don't believe I did. I think I was protecting my children. He lost his visitation rights. For reasons.
Gained them right back. As soon as their psychological evaluation's done, I was given visitation.
No, you
right
weren't.
away.
Look at their last court paper.
Well, based on things that you had said, I can see why people would err in the direction of caution, but there was not one physical or psychological finding to support it.
There was I submitted a letter from her therapist that she was seeing. I submitted a letter from her school, too. And all of them said she showed signs. And that is why he lost his visitation rights.
Well, coming up, Dan said he wanted to clear his name and take a polygraph. A lot of people say that as a bluff, and when it comes time, they choke and come up with every excuse in the book. Well, I called that bluff. Did he take it? And did he pass? I'll tell you that when we come back.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
Gina claims her ex-husband Dan molested their daughter Alexis when she was 2 years old. Dan says 100% it never happened. He claims Gina made it up to punish him for leaving her. Dan says police found no evidence to support her claims. He said he would take a polygraph to put an end to Gina's allegations. When I asked Alexis about it earlier, she said, I don't know what to think. And I won't know what to think unless he's willing to take a polygraph and I can get some clarity about this. She also said she wants to know the truth. Well, Jack Tremarco is here. He was a special agent with the FBI for 21 years. He is, in my opinion, the absolute best of the best. So you actually took the polygraph test, correct?
Yes, I did.
And let me ask you what your experience was with Mr. Tremarco. Did he treat you well?
Very professional.
And do you believe that this was a fair test?
Yes, I do.
Jack, was it a fair test?
All my tests are fair, Dr. Phil. And Dan was no exception. He complied with my instructions. There were no indications of countermeasures, that is, attempts to beat the polygraph process. The chart quality was good, and I came to a definite conclusion.
Mm-hmm. All right, and let's look at the results. Question 1. Did you ever have sexual contact with your daughter since she was born? And your answer was?
No.
The second question, did you ever have sexual contact with Alexis? And your answer was?
No.
Right. And the results to both of those questions was that those answers were non-deceptive. So according to this polygraph, you have never had sexual contact with your daughter since the minute she was born. Jack, was this a close call?
No, it was a +8, Dr. Phil. In order for Dan to have passed the test, he would have needed a +2 or above. So it was substantial.
Dan, how does it feel to have this publicly acknowledged?
I don't care about the public acknowledgement. I just want my daughter to know that.
Alexis, how do you feel?
I don't even know
I'm sorry?
I don't even know right now.
It's hard for her to know how to feel when it's been pumped in her head for 16 years. Something that
Don't
didn't
start
happen.
that, please.
It's not your fault.
Stop.
And how do you, are you glad to know the results?
I still don't think my mom's lying to me. Thank you.
You said you wanted the poly results, and you have them. And you heard me say that I believe your mother is well-intentioned.
Yeah. I love my mom.
Nobody is asking you to do anything other than have love and loyalty for your mother. I hope this can be taken off the table and you and your mother can take this from between you and you can talk about this. Have you heard me say that your mother was a liar? Have you heard me say that your mother was vicious or vindictive? You've not heard me say one thing.
And I'm not
that.
mad at you, but when I hear other people with that, my mom.
Okay, look, what these people are interested in is that you would at least show some graciousness towards your father, who has for 15 years walked around with people thinking that he is some kind of pervert that hurt his daughter.
Can I ask why I didn't get a lie detector? I asked for a lie detector to prove that I wasn't lying about what.
If you would like to take a polygraph, Mr. Tremarco is here today and prepared to administer that to you today.
Let's go.
We'll be right back. Closed captioning provided by...
Most of Red Robin's sides are bottomless, which means they don't stop serving them until you wave the white napkin.
Red Robin. Yum.
Ready to get real? Go to drphil.com for advice on relationships, parenting, finances, and more. Plus, weigh in on your favorite episodes, share your stories, and find support in the Dr. Phil community. When you sign up for the community, you will automatically be subscribed to the Dr. Phil Show newsletter. Log on to drphil.com today. The whole goal that I always have is for people, particularly in families, to get along. And you need to figure out, David, that you're going to go a whole lot further by trying to get along with parents instead of them trying to get along with you. For her to see you get along with them by showing some respect and and all is a tremendous gift to her, I can assure you. And you guys might take a deep breath and figure out the quickest way from A to Z is not at the most feverish pace. You know, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And I want to thank all of my guests today, especially Jack Tremarco. You heard that Gina wants to take a polygraph exam, so we're going to try and contribute to this mystery. We'll add it right into this show so everyone can see. If you or someone you know is caught in the middle of a family drama, I'm here to help. Go to drphil.com and tell me your story, and I am prepared to offer resources to this family to help heal any and all wounds. We will see you next time. Gina, thank you. Good to meet you. Congratulations. Look, Mr. Mike. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Good to see you, my friend.
The show just concluded. Gina has decided that she will take the polygraph test. What we're going to discuss with her is whether she was actually told by Alexis that Daddy had touched her and hurt her in her shoo-shoo.
I'm feeling very confident with it. I feel like I'm going to pass.
Hi, how are you? Gina, I'm Jack, okay?
If I pass, it means that Alexis knows I was never lying to her and that I've always told the truth.
What I've got you, Gina, is a -6 on this test. In order for you to fail the test, you would have needed a -4.
No, I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I'm not lying.
Well, let me take that stuff off you.
I'm not lying. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Do you have any questions of me?
No, I want to go. I'm so pissed right now because I'm not lying. God knows I'm not lying. And you know what? Your lie detector test may say I'm lying. Fine. It's a machine. And everybody in the world may think, okay, she's lying. But guess what? Jesus, my Savior, he knows I'm not lying. And that's all that matters to me. He tested I was lying.
Stop.
No, I'm not going to stop because I'm not. I'm not lying. End of story. That's all I have to say. I'm not lying. I know it. Jesus knows it. That's all that matters to me. I'm done.
Gina, you've ruined my life with these false accusations. You've ruined the life of my daughter. Let my daughter and I have a relationship that we've always wanted, and let us heal. Stay away from me.